Isoparametric element, important topic of finite element analysis. I am Professor Rakhde RD. In this video, we will discuss concept of isoparametric element, then various type of isoparametric elements, then different formulation type of elements, that is isoparametric, subparametric, superparametric. Then basic laws of isoparametric formulation using shape function. Lastly, we will see isoparametric mapping with one numerical example. So in finite element analysis of 2D or 3D bodies with curved boundaries, discretization, or we can say meshing using straight side elements. You can see first figure. If you meshing using straight line side elements, so there is a then we will get approximate solution due to some curved portion not covered the straight line elements. So if body is discretized by using straight side elements, it result in approximation of curved boundaries. We will not get accurate solution in curved boundaries as straight side polygon. So in order to reduce the error and improve the accuracy, it is necessary to increase the number of straight side elements. However, the number of elements increase, the requirement of computational space as well as computational time. So this error can be minimized by using curved side elements. So these curved side elements, we can say isometric elements. So this is basic concept behind the isometric elements. So by using straight side elements, we got some error in curved surface or curved boundaries, and we can minimize that error by using isometric elements. So this is basic concept behind isometric elements. So there are various type of isometric elements, such as we can say in figure 1 having bar element 3 node 1 2 and third one is on intermediate. Same 6 node triangular element, 8 node quadrilateral element, 9 nodes quadrilateral elements, 20 noded hexahedral elements. So these are the various type of isometric elements. Then in isometric elements, there are basically two type of variables. First one is geometric variables and second one is field variable. Figure shows a 6 noded triangular elements, means having 3 sides and 6 nodes, node 1 2 3 on corner and 4 5 6 on that intermediate side. So this represent Cartesian coordinate, local coordinate, and second figure represent natural coordinate in terms of zeta and eta. So geometric variable is nothing but those are variables which specify the geometry of elements, and field variable which represent displacement, stress or temperature, means variation in property. So that property represent by field variable u and v. So x1 x2 up to x6 or y6 are called as the local coordinates, then uv u1 v1 up to u6 v6 called as a natural coordinate. So if you know point or on local coordinate, that is we consider P in x and y, so that x and y can calculate it by using shape function. So shape function generally used for mapping the coordinate from local to natural or natural to local. So if there are 6 nodes, so natural shape function also is 6. So if I want to calculate x, means position of P in x coordinate as well as a y coordinate, so these are the generalized formulae for x and y. If I want to calculate maybe variable function u and v of P, so again same formula we can apply, only we can change variable. Here we use geometric variable and here we use field variable. So both formulas are same. Then there are different type of formulation in FE, so such as isoparametric, subparametric, superparametric elements. So what is difference between these three formulation? We know the what is mean by geometric variable and field variable. So in isoparametric element, only condition is if nodal if the function used to define the geometry of an element and the function used to define the field variable of an element are same. In short, geometric field and variable field are same in element, that element called as a isoparametric element. In second situation or in second case, subparametric elements, if the function used in defining the geometry, that is node for geometry, is lower order than the function used to define the variable functions of an element, so such type of elements called as a subparametric elements. And in reverse case, that is third, superparametric elements, if the function used to define the geometry of an element is of higher order than the function used to define the field variable, that is displacement variable of an element, then such element called as a superparametric elements. So this is basic difference. Simple. Node of geometry equal to node of field variable. Sub, node of geometric lower than node of field variable. Third, superparametric, node of geometric higher than node of field variable. Then there are three basic law of isometric formulation when you formulate by using shape function. First one, if two adjacent elements are generated using shape function, then there is a continuity at the common edge between two elements. So this C represents common side for element 1 as well as element 2. Second, if the shape function result in continuity of displacement in actual element, then the continuity requirement is satisfied in isoparametric element also. Then third, the isoparametric element satisfy the convergence and completeness criteria, that is summation of all shape functions should be equal to 1. So this is most important criteria. Again somewhat about isoparametric elements. So according to Bruce Iron, for quadratical shape elements, so most commonly used element, that is irregular shape. So generalization of rectangular element, then use mapping to transform into square. So according to Irons, so any irregular shape we can map with square elements. So element 1, sorry, node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. So just like we use cam scanner, so any irregular shape we can map with square shape element. So suppose this is position of node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. So you just map this all 4 nodes with all standard shape, and we can find out or calculate or determine any point on irregular shape by using or compare with this standard square reference element. So our formulation are done in the reference element only. So this is our standard element or reference element, and this is our actual element. So next, that is isometric mapping. So irregular geometry math with standard definition. The same interpolation method is used for displacement and geometry. Construct the shape function n1, n2, n3, n4 at reference element. So after derivation, the shape function for this square of node 1, 2, 3, 4 are respectively. So s and t are the natural coordinates. Sometimes here we can write zeta and eta also. So s represent zeta and t represent eta. So we can remember this formula here, -1, so here also minus minus, then 1 plus 1, so +1 -1, +1 plus 1, plus minus plus minus plus. So in this way we can remember this shape function also. For better clarification, we can take one numerical. So how does it work, or how does it look? Just this is irregular shape or any direction we can map, means local coordinate map with natural coordinates. For giving xy we can find out st. Suppose I know the value of x and y in irregular, I can calculate corresponding s and t value, means I can find the location on natural coordinate. If I know or given coordinate given point in s and t form, so I can calculate in x and y form. So linearity of transformation of boundary is important for continuity, means we can change from local coordinate to natural or natural coordinate to local. So example, find mapping of point A in the physical element. At point A, S and T, suppose this is our reference and this is our actual element. So according to reference, suppose I know a position of A, this is our reference point 0, 0. Position of A is 0.5 and 0.5, that is the value of S and T. Then by using this formula, means by using shape function formula n1, n2, n3, and n4, we can simply calculate the value of all these 4 n's by putting just s and t value. So we'll get n1 1 by 16, n2 3 by 16, n3 9 by 16, n4 3 by 16. Then suppose I want to calculate position of that A on actual element, that is position with respect to x and y coordinate. So this is node 1. So similarly this is also our reference node 1. We can map 1 to 4. So suppose I want to calculate position of that A on actual coordinate. So x is nothing but summation of n into x. So we can take respect to n and x, so n1 into x1. So here we know the value of n1 1 by 16, x1 we can take from this 6, because if you consider this is node 1, so this is x1 x2, x3, x4. Okay, so respective n1, n2, n3, n4, x1, x2, x3, x4. Lastly, we will get value of x 2.25. Similarly, we can calculate the value of y by putting value of n1, n2, n3, n4 and y1, y2, y3 and y4. So x, lastly we will get value of x and y. So this is for natural coordinate, this is our reference point 0 0. For local coordinate, this is our reference point 0 0. So we can measure x from here 2.25 and y 3 from here. So somewhat 2 and 3. So this is our, maybe this is our a point in actual element. So in this way we can determine position of any given point on local or actual element by using local coordinate or on natural or reference element. So in this way we will discuss or what we have learned from this session. So basic concept of isometric element, type of isometric element, difference between iso, sub and super parametric elements, basic laws of formulation using shape function, then isoparametric mapping with a numerical example. Thank you.